back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming obviously, as you can see, remote from, I guess this point it'd be Studio C, which happens to be the garden level of my home. Right now, though, we're going to go to the UP, where I am informed that there is still 4 inches of snow freshly fallen yesterday. Dave Emmel joins us right now. He is, of course, the head of the NLEA. And David, it's always good to spend time with you. How you doing?
Hey, Chris, I'm great. How are you?
Great. Does this mean the snowmobiling season is going to extend? Because that's big business up there.
Boy, I sure hope so. It's yeah, beautiful downtown Boyne City. We got another 4 to 5 inches last night. We got 10 inches on Thursday of last week, another 3 or 4 inches over the weekend. So yeah, it's been interesting to watch the snow patterns shift. Typically, where we've had a lot of snow in January, December, it's kind of shifted into February, and interestingly, later February. So yeah, things are looking great right now.
Isn't that wild? Well, my good friend Steve Kircher is very happy. Steve, of course, owns the Highlands and the Mountain. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about NLEA and remind everybody who you are and what you do.
Absolutely, yeah. The Northern Lakes Economic Alliance is a regional 4-county economic development organization supporting communities and businesses in Antrim, Charlevoix, Sheboygan, and Emmett counties. And so we work in a number of different domains, but primarily in the economic development domain, and that critical bridge between economic development and at a private sector side, and community development in a public sector side.
So our latest Michigan Future Business Index indicates that inflation, and in particular wage inflation, and still finding people and retaining them, are the 2 major issues for business. Are you finding that up in your area?
Absolutely. Talent attraction has been a primary focus for many of our businesses here. Even pre-pandemic, the pandemic shifted that and really exacerbated that a little bit. So we've seen a lot of shifts and change occur in that. Yeah, talent attraction, retention, not as big of an issue, but attraction is very much on the forefront of everybody's mind. And then you add to that, things like housing and childcare, which are domains in economic development most of us have never really been involved in the past, that we're now heavily engaged in.
No, you're absolutely right. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about 2022 and some of the accomplishments there. When you go back, what would you put a gold star on?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the big gold stars we had last year was our first annual the Northern Lakes Economic Symposium and Annual Showcase that happened in May, and we're getting ready to launch our next one in May of 2023. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think, some of the big highlights for last year, adding Emmett County back into our portfolio of counties was a big accomplishment over the last year. And we've done that, and that's been a big success for us. And then really, I think, re-engagement in communities and understanding how communities' priorities have shifted over the last, really 3 years. And so I think a lot of our activities have been really about re-engagement in a different way in communities. And so we're very excited about what the future holds for that. And a lot of challenges that we're going to face here in the foreseeable future really kind of stem from some of the shifts and changes that we've talked about in the past.
It's interesting. I'm often saying these days, I think that COVID pushed us in a direction faster that we should have been going anyway,
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the new workforce is welcoming that. Tell me about NLIA.
The NLIA is the Northern Lakes Innovation Alliance, and that is kind of a sub-brand of the NLEA. And a lot of our activities involved in the Innovation Alliance are really trying to rebuild and capture that culture of innovation that our region is known for. We have a lot of great inventions in the outdoor rec industry. And you think about, you mentioned the Kircher family and their involvement in really the development and inventions around snowmaking technology that are used around the world, and how we transport and mobility on snow, surfaces and things like that in terms of, lift technology and all that great stuff. And we've got great technology coming out of companies all over our region. So really trying to recapture and rebuild that innovation focus that our region had been known for so many years.
No, you're absolutely right. So this plays into what's next, and that is the 2023 program of work. What are you looking at this year?
Yeah, we really kick off our year this year in May with our annual Northern Lakes Economic Symposium and Showcase, and that's going to happen this year on May 22nd at beautiful Boyne Mountain Resort in Boyne Falls. They have been our host facility for a number of years for a lot of our events, and that's going to continue this year. We're excited to have them, as always, as a partner for that. This will be a full day event this year. We will kick off with 8 o'clock breakfast, networking, and wrap by 3:30 on that Monday. We're going to start, as we typically do, at a very macro level. We're going to, in the morning, and then we'll frame issues and challenges, and then really drill down into those issues later in the day. So we're going to kick off our day with some great keynote speakers. We have Dr. Michael Horrigan for the Upjohn Institute for Employment Research out of Kalamazoo, who's really going to be framing kind of the macroeconomic forces shaping the labor market. Dr. Peter Berg from Michigan State University School of Human Resources and Labor Relations is going to talk to us about how employers can manage the ramifications of an aging labor force, which is something we have here.
Well, before this opportunity slips by, you need to invite us. We'll cover your whole event up there, and we'll look forward to that. Dave Emmel, thanks so much for joining us. He's the executive director of the NLEA, and we'll be back to you soon to see progress.
Can't wait.
All right, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.